Hello and welcome to Tasty Classics. Now I don't know if you remember, but a few weeks ago I spent all of my money on buying this beautiful Daimler Sovereign from Matthewson's auctions, you know, the ones off Bangers in Cash. I'm bidding against a phone bidder. Cheap car, isn't it? It is a cheap car. Go and switch his phone off.
£2,900 we've got. £3,000 is up.
I've got to have it. I've got to have it. So alas, a little bit of auction fever may have come over me. And it means that this car owes me £3,379. That's a lot of money, considering the car is a non-runner. It doesn't run. Nobody knows why. There was no information from the auction. I didn't get anything. I just got a bit carried away. I had a brief look round it and I could see that it was fairly solid. Everything was complete. It looked like, yeah, I mean, surely it's going to be okay. When I went to get the paperwork, there was lots of like hand-drawn schematics of electronics and fuel pumps and all this sort of stuff. So I am a little bit worried that this is going to be a huge headache. Now you can buy running and driving examples of these beautiful Daimler Sovereigns for around £6,000. Now, can I get this one running and driving for less than that? You see all these cars around us here. At one point in time, these were all, well, they didn't work, they didn't run. Some of them were basket cases, but over time, they now run. They drive, they move, you could take them anywhere. And that is the plan for this thing. I want to get it properly back on the road, but it's going to need some stuff, isn't it? And we need to do some investigation and find out exactly what is wrong with it. It smells like, well, just look at it. You can imagine, can't you? It's pretty damp. It's pretty mouldy. There is just nastiness over everything. The interior is incredibly plush though, and can you see the legroom? This thing is a long wheelbase Daimler. So you do get that extra bit of legroom in the back. Not that I would need it, because I'm going to sit in the driving seat. A couple of, well, 4 very nice Daimler hubcaps there. You can see it's just covered in like mould, really. It's just not been used. It's been sat, it's been getting damp. Always like a rear armrest. It's very luxurious, isn't it? Look at all this down here. You're looking at rear electric windows. Is that fan control? I don't know what those 2 knobs are, but we'll have a play with that if we can bring this thing back to life. Oh God, it's so swanky, isn't it? So swanky. Look at the detail on it, the shininess of everything. Nice big tunes in the back as well. Daimler. Little magic tree here has done absolutely nothing to mask the smell of, the only way I could describe it is like a well-used pair of leather trousers. Essentially pretty disgusting, but I'm sure we can bring that back with a bit of leather cleaner and stuff. I've also noticed the headlining's, well, it's down. There's just loads of random bits and bobs and tools and things and stuff. What are they? Is that an engine mount or something? Bump stops, pair of glasses. So while I'm emptying this car out, I'm going to tell you a few things about Daimler, because there's probably a small percentage of you that are watching this going, pretty sure that's a Jaguar, mate. And yeah, I mean, you're not wrong really. This is the 1978 Daimler Sovereign, 4.2 litre straight 6, and it is heavily based to a point where it's pretty much identical to a Jaguar XJ series car. It's paired to a 3-speed Automatic gearbox for gentle wafting, of course. Oh, a handwritten note. Sat-nav directions, L1 4AF, South North Route, Take Junction, Premier Inn, BBC Merseyside. Wonder what they were doing there. And as mentioned, it's got the 4.2, and they did this thing with a 6.6, right? Which is a V12 engine. It's super cool. We did a V12 XJS a little while ago and it nearly killed me. It was one of the most difficult resurrections I've ever done. But this one being the 4.2 litre straight six, I'm hoping is going to be a little bit easier, but I guess we're going to find out. Another handwritten note for a Premier Inn. Why was the driver staying at so many Premier Inns? Oh, that is, well, it's a nice waxed jacket, but I don't think I'll be wearing that. I think it's, yeah, that's past its best. It's probably used that to lie down on the side of the road, fixing whatever is wrong with this thing. So this 4.2, they reckon it'll do 120 mile an hour, and it should do 0 to 60 in about 9 seconds. Sorry about that, Spitfire. Which is pretty good, isn't it, really? 1,000 old tissues. Ugh. Ugh. Find all sorts of weird stuff in people's cars, don't you? So what is Daimler? Well, in the 1890s, Daimler made cars. Things like the Stahlradwagen, which Gottlieb Daimler and some fella called Maybach designed. Fast forward 10 years and the fella that made this thing, Lawson, bought the name Daimler. And they were building really high-end, luxurious stuff for royalty, and just like very high-end people had Daimler cars. And then that carried on for a while. But in the 1960s, Jaguar came along, and Jaguar were making more like, I don't know, sportier things, fun things, things that were not quite as luxurious as Daimler's, right? Build quality was good on Jaguars, but Daimler's was just a little bit better. Plusher leather, carpets, etc., etc. And Jaguar said, we want a bit of that. So they bought Daimler, right? Some good spanners and tools coming out of this car usually. There's nothing wrong with that screwdriver, proper job. Always looking for these because they double up as chisels, don't they? So Jaguar buys Daimler, right? And says to them, we're just going to share all of our car making platform knowledge, etc., etc. We'll do shared builds. You can like sell yours as Daimlers, and they'll just be slightly more luxurious versions. And then you get to the 1980s, right? British Leyland era, okay? British Leyland, a company known for their fantastic build quality, reliability, etc. Oh no, sorry. That must be someone else. They bought Daimler and Jaguar and all this sort of stuff, and they just fell under that umbrella. And what that led to is this very horrible cushion. What is that, and why is it in the boots of this Jaguar? Maybe his butler carried this around with like a cup of tea on it or something. I don't know. It's unlikely, to be honest. Ugh. And as British Leyland were calling the shots, a few things started to happen. The Daimler brand started to sort of fall by the wayside a tiny little bit, and it was more of just a badge. It didn't really do anything else, because obviously Daimler was sort of doing quite expensive stuff with cars, and that is not something British Leyland were that interested in, especially in the 1980s. Expensive stuff was not their first priority. They kind of wanted the less expensive stuff, you know. So the boot is now completely emptied, and we've got a gorgeous spare wheel in there. Really nice, looks like a decent tyre and stuff, but yeah, all emptied in there now, but it's absolutely cavernous. I'm genuinely like quite comfortable in here. It's not that bad. I can sort of fit my entire body. If I sort of laid down, I'd easily be able to fit my entire body in here. It's fascinating how big this car is. I really like it, and it feels super solid as well. So because of this badge engineering that was just really lessening Daimler's input into the cars, people started to look at Jaguars and go, well, why don't I just get a Jaguar? They're better priced. They're exactly the same item, because by that time, almost everything on the car was exactly the same as a Daimler. Very little was different. And Daimler started to do less and less and less and less and less. And I think the last one they sold was something like 2009. And I think it's a really nice car. I'll try and flash up a picture of one here. The last Daimler that was ever sort of made. And just quietly, they went away. So from being like in 1890s, one of the, well, the most prestigious car brand in the UK, to just fading away. And Jaguar took on, well, everything until probably last year, when they, I don't know what they did, they lost their minds, didn't they? They stopped making cars. But I wonder if we'll see a comeback from Jaguar. That would be quite fun, wouldn't it? Because I do like them. And now I'm spending a little bit of time with this Daimler. I really like this one as well. Should we see if we can make it run? Hold it out there, it's just on minimum. Yeah, okay. Maybe it needs a top up. I can't tell if there's any water in there because it's too far down. And yeah, brake fluid. The brake fluid cap has completely come off. Okay, well we'll pretend we've checked that. It's fine, isn't it? I mean, we don't need brakes if it doesn't move. God, Hercules himself has tightened the caps of these dashpots. So we won't be checking those either. Maybe later on. Let's plug the battery in and turn the key and see if we get any life at all. Keys, Daimler. Oh, it is super nice in here. It is, oh my God, you could drive. Oh, the comfort of the seats. I would absolutely love to spin this thing round. That would be the dream. That would really be the dream. This headliner is a nightmare. I know how to do headliners now though, because I did one on the MG. Do I have to do it again? Why have I got to do stuff all the time? Key in here. Oh! Right, so we've got absolutely no lights on the dash at all. Which is really upsetting, isn't it? No lights down here. That's annoying. No ignition. But I did accidentally turn the key a little bit too far then, and it does turn over, although it doesn't sound amazing, but it does turn over. Oh! I think that's all that battery wrote, but I did see a couple of lights come up then. Look at this. See that little flash there? I wonder if that's just because there's like not enough juice in it. I wonder if we should try and put the boost pack on it. Look at all this stuff though, interior. Oh, the clock's working. Oh my God. Tunes. I can't wait. We've got tunes, that's amazing. Here for all your cigarettes, lovely. All these electric windows, what does this do? Oh, is that like central locking maybe? That doesn't work. Okay, the driver's one works. All you need, isn't it? As long as you've got a driver's one, it's fine, isn't it? It says on the clock here, 38,600 miles. I would imagine that's more like 138,000, but you know, what do I know? I think the sensible thing to do now is to top the oil up, because it is a bit low, and then to put the boost pack on it and just try and turn it over again and see if it does anything. I didn't hear any fuel pumps or anything, and I'm pretty sure these are electric. Even though the carbs, I'm pretty sure it's electric fuel pump. It needs a lot of fuel to make this big 4.2 run, you know. I'm gonna order right now another battery for this, because that battery is obviously very sad. It's not held its charge. It's very old. This car hasn't been on the road since 2016, and it was probably older than that. It doesn't matter how much oil I seem to be pouring into this car. It's not going up. Is it going directly onto the floor? Am I pouring it into the right place? Oh yeah, okay, it's gone up a tiny bit there. Crikey. That's the fuel line there, so if needs be, we can just attach a tank to that anyway, just to see if we can get it run, but I know, get it to run, if we've got any ignition at all as well. I don't know if we've got any spark or anything. There's a lot of stuff we don't know, but we're just going to try the basics first, like, does it start and does it run? And if it doesn't, we go from there then, don't we, you know, and go, why not? What's wrong with it? Right, that's perfect. Lovely golden nectar, 20W50, and it's drank. It's drank like 3 litres of that. Yikes. Right, boost pack's connected, switcher on. Still, no sign of fuel pumps or any lights on the dash. Interesting, it is spinning over. I'm just going to take off one of these pipes that goes from the back of the fuel tank to the fuel filter, and we'll see if it's pushing any fuel through. Might as well use the screwdriver that I got with the car. Let's just take it off at the lowest hanging fruit, which is this clip here. Oh, did you see a little splash of fuel then? I did. Our survey says. That is the sweet aroma of petrol. Although it wasn't coming out at a rate of knots exactly, was it? I've got this old bottle here so I can catch some of the stuff that's coming out of the... Why won't this just undo? Come on. I just want to catch what's coming out of the fuel tank, really, because I want to see, well, if it's any good. And I've got this as well. This is brake cleaner. I mean, this is petrol. This is like easy start. And what this is going to do, if there is a spark there, we might hear a bark. I wasn't expecting that because it didn't even sound like it was going to bark for a second then. And then it did, off a bit of this. There is some stuff that's come from that tank and it does not look good. There was this tub, right, that was in the car, so let's use it. Crikey Moses, that is black fuel. It's lost so much of its potency. Just really doesn't smell like fuel, that. But we have just heard this thing bark off. I'm wondering if now we just like chuck some fresh fuel in the tank, because I don't even know how much fuel it's got because I'm just not seeing anything on the dash. I don't know if it's just me, but none of these gauges are working. Nothing's moving at all, nothing's going up. Not got battery volts. Just nothing. Oh God, why? Oh God, what is going on? I mean, we heard it bark though, so there's going to have to have been a spark there. But I've just got nothing gauges wise. Now I have done a smattering of research into these cars, and they have twin fuel tanks. And this side, the driver's side, is the sort of main tank, if you like, and then there's another tank on the other side and it picks up from that tank, etc, etc. But I think it always starts with this tank. Now there is fuel coming out of it. Is that locked? So that's making me think that nothing's blocked. The tank isn't blocked, the fuel filter's not blocked. So I'm going to pour a load of fresh fuel into it and we're going to see. It's got a fuel filter, so it should be fine if we just plug the fuel line back in, and then we'll see if it'll run off its own juices. I'd really like to just run a bit more fuel into this little catchy device I've come up with here, just to see if there's a bit of a change in anything really. Because I'm wondering if that colour is just caused by, like, you know, when fuel sits in the pipes. It's not necessarily from the tank, but that little bit of fuel then might have just been what was sat in the pipes all the way from the tank. I can hear the fuel tank, the fuel pump now wildly. I don't need to keep the engine running. I can see it filling up. And it goes off. And when you try and start it, it comes back on. Still looks pretty black. I don't know, what do you think? Still looks pretty bad, doesn't it? Okay, right, I'm going to connect this back up now. The main thing I've sort of learned from this little experiment there is there's not loads of bits in it. There's not loads of crap in it. It might look a bit old and varnished, and it's potentially going to have run out of octanes. So the car might not run properly on it, because only cars only like to run on nice fuel. And especially if this hasn't run in so long. However, I am happy to connect the fuel pipe back up to the carbs. And then we'll see if we can start it off a bit of easy start, see if it'll run, and then see if it'll start to run off its own juices. Now that we've added a bit more octane to it with that fresh fuel. Right, thanks very much for watching. See you in the next episode. This is from ice cold. Absolutely ice cold. I can't believe it. It's just ticking away. Right, instantly noticed a problem. There is no alternator belt. The alternator is not spinning around. That rattling noise you can hear is this air filter housing, so maybe we just connect that back up. There we go, that's the rattling fixed. I've pretty much fixed the entire car now. But that sounds really sweet. It should be running a lot smoother than that, but this might be the first time it's run in bloody 8 years or 10 years or whatever. Whoa. So we've got a rev counter, that's amazing. Now we've got no gauges. Oh yes! That is a fuel gauge, and it is reading something. Oh, look at this! We have oil pressure. Zing! We have a touch of oil pressure. 40 watt, I don't know, but 40. Not charging at all because the alternator's not plugged in, and I think that might be giving us maybe some of the electric issues. How do I... Okay, the wipers seem to work, so, I mean, it's pretty much on the road. That's normal, don't worry. You can stay there, that's fine. Whoa! Joe, did the brake lights come?
I think so, yeah.
She just drove there like an absolute dream. There was just no issue at all. Right, okay. Another amazing thing. Power steering works. Big old battery this, you know. Oh, it was not even tight. Will it go, which way will it go past? Oh, it's not even tied down either. Oh, look at this. Is that supposed to be like that? What's that even for? Oh my gosh. Wow, this is awesome. I thought for a moment all of that rust was the inner wing, and it's not. It was just this battery tray that's just disintegrated over the years. Let me get the Hoover. Now you can see that that's the inside of the car there, which isn't ideal. You can buy universal plastic battery trays, which I think I'll do to replace this dead thing with like a battery clamp and stuff on it. But the battery clamp's fine, I only need the top bit, so I might have a look on eBay, see if anybody's got a spare one of those I can buy. And then we'll put some of this like sealant, same as what's on here, which I've got some dodo mats, which will clean all this stuff up, grind whatever these things are away, plant a load of that on it, and then put the battery tray on top of that so it'll stop any water ingress into the car. That'll be fine for our travels for today though. Hello and welcome to underneath of my lovely Daimler. The first thing I've sort of noticed as I'm going around this thing is it is proper nice. There is a chance we've actually bought a good car for once. That'd be good, wouldn't it? All the tyres are like this one, they're all the same, they're just like superb. Everything rolls beautifully and freely. Now even the back here, the dreaded inboard brakes, they're good as gold. The discs have got no lip on them. There is so much in terms of pads on both there. They just look incredible. And again, all the back wheels, everything just rotates so nicely. All of the sort of bodywork, I mean, that's just a bit of flaky stuff up there. Nothing really to write home about. Big rear valance there, it's not got any massive holes in it. It's very clean, and this is a little bit of a weak area on some of these old Jags, but yeah, proper nice, really solid, very, very clean. Sills on both sides are just superb. These bits here, I mean, they're not amazing, but as long as we don't go anywhere near them, we should be absolutely fine. Inside the arches and stuff, it's just all right, isn't it? This is a car that I can use as a bit of a blurt, as a bit of a winter hack. You know, get it sort of scrubbed up a bit, do some jobs like this bizarre bonnet problem that we've got here. I can see that there, that is, I'm pretty sure, the bonnet hinge, but it's just not attached, is it? Interesting, right, well we're gonna have to sort that out because we may need to open the bonnet. I mean, obviously just to like fill windscreen washer fluid and stuff. It doesn't need anything else, cars like this. You just, yeah, it'll be fine. Maybe fill the dash pots up, we can get those open. It's just little service items like that, really, nothing else. I just covered my forehead in oil. I found the issue with the bonnet, that there, that is moving, it goes, that is supposed to be like a big sort of rivety type thing that goes all the way through there. Same as it is on that side, but you can see it is just not connected. It's snapped off down the middle. That might just be a case of drilling that out and just putting a nut and bolt through it, and that'll hold it perfectly in place. And also, I have noticed that the issue with the bonnet has led to these cables just being sort of sliced off everywhere I don't know if that's just like, I don't know what's happened there, but yeah, look, those two cables there should obviously be attached to those two. I don't know what this is, but yeah, it's definitely not supposed to be like that. Thankfully, nothing has bent or damaged or anything, but we need to sort that because that does feel like the other one's going to go and then your bonnet's going to fall on the floor. I tell you what, if this alternator actually charges, I'm going to get this thing out on the road. We're going to take it to a petrol station down the road, and then I might take it home tonight. It is terrible weather outside, but if the heaters work, we'll let it run for a bit, make sure it doesn't overheat and stuff, and then like I might go home in it, see what it's like. Now I can get the belt round this, but I can't get the belt round this other belt here, and I can't adjust the water pump and the fan. So I'm going to have to take the power steering pump off, move the belt over, get the belt round it, put it back. It's complicated, isn't it? There's no other way of doing it. You just have to do these things. And I hope this is the right belt as well. We've just done it off measurements. It looks quite big. Oh my God, in fact, it looks far too big. Right, well, let's get the other belt off and we'll have a look. Stop being difficult. Access provided from underneath. What the hell is going on there? I've just spotted something I don't like the look of. Uh-oh. Things may not all be as they seem. What is going on there? Very chewed, very, very chewed bolt with loads of marks around it. And I think that, like, I'm not sure what part of the car that even is. This is like the, where all the sort of water goes in for your radiator and stuff. Is it? Yeah, it is, because then it goes down there. This is, yeah, directly from your radiator to there. But look at that. It's, oh my God, it's all moving. Oh no. Oh no. Look at that there. It's not even attached. There's no nuts, bolts. Right. We're not going home in this tonight. This is where the headache starts, isn't it? What is going on there? Right, I'm going to ignore that for the moment and we're going to concentrate on the job in hand. Let's get this alternator belt on just in case that belt's wrong, see if it charges. If it does, then that's that job done, and we're going to pull apart this thing and see exactly what the hell's gone on there, because that looks super sketchy. There's not even a bolt in the bottom one. What else is supposed to go there? No bolt in there. Yikes. Is this going to be one of those cars where it's like the more you look, the more you know, and that belt is about 6 feet too long. That's the problem with these old cars, is just on the shelf, the stuff. Right, okay. Have I got any other belts lying around here that might work? What's this one? 1175. That is a belt. What is it? 813. Should we try that? So easy to reach everything. Right. Okay, that's going to be nowhere. It's going to be well too short, isn't it? Yeah, can't even get the... it needs to be about there. It's... Could we? Is it going to... No, it's too small. That was worth a try, wasn't it? Found this one here, which is a 1075, not an 1175, but I don't think that's enough of a, you know, difference. Yeah. Far too big. Even if I wound that in all the way, it's only going to, or out of the way, it's only going to get it to sort of there. While I'm waiting for this belt, I thought I'd just get stuck into sort of trying to find out exactly what's going on with this here. And as I'm getting this, you know, bolt out, I don't know how well you can see that. I'll try and sort of zoom in, but it's absolutely torn to shreds. Really, like, yeah, not great. And yeah, I just don't know what's going on with all this, really. I don't know why it's like that. Turns out this is your thermostat housing. I don't know if someone's been changing a thermostat or something like that and they've had problems with the bolts, or problems with the, because I've had to use, see this here? This is my special sort of metric and imperial sort of set that I use for my pickup truck and American things, but also works with this stuff. So I don't know if they've not had access to that and they've just been chewing that bolt up, but I'm trying my best to remove it and it feels bad. So I'm just going to strip this down, see what I've got left, what's all in there, and then I'm going to have another look online, maybe ring a couple of the specialists. Oh God, that looks like a very, very poorly bolt. Oh dear. Oh dear. That does not look good. That is sad. We have discovered there's always a reason why cars end up in auctions. And this is why this one is in auction. That is a snapped bolt in the thermostat housing there. But not only that, we have this bolt which looks like it's seized inside. It should be, it doesn't look like there's any thread left in that one either. Looks like all the threads disappeared out of there. I don't know how well you can see that. And that one there, well, that is completely snapped off. There is nothing left for that to grab onto, and you couldn't even put a nut on the back of it because there's no room because of this bit of the inlet manifold, that looks like. Inlet manifold will have water running through it, maybe to keep it at a regulated temperature, just to stop issues with fuel and to maybe help it start and stuff, I don't know. But that is a problem. So we need a new inlet manifold, new thermostat housing, new thermostat, gaskets, and all bolts. That was me thinking I was going to drive this home tonight. It's amazing how quickly the day disappears when you're having fun, isn't it? But I've just been speaking to a guy called Ken, who seems to be the man you want to speak to when it comes to Jaguar parts. I spoke to SNG Barrett, David Wareham's, all these people. And unfortunately, the inlet manifold and the thermostat housing are both unobtainium. They can get me almost everything else, which is great, but unfortunately, the bits I really need are unobtainium. So I phoned this guy called Ken, who's got a humongous business dealing in used Jag spares and brand new Jag spares, and he reckons he can get me every single thing I need in one box, which would be the dream. So yeah, that's hopefully going to be on its way on Monday. It's now Friday. So I'm just going to fit this alternator belt now, which I'm hoping is the right one. But that feels like the wrong one. And did I put the 950 on? Oh yeah, I did. I asked for two different ones. Let's try this one instead. And then yeah, if this works, then that's going to be fabulous. We can tighten everything back up and then it's one job off the list. That's all back together. All the nice lovely belts are on. Let's see what that thing says when we fire up. It's not what you want to see, is it? Thought that was just going to be a belt job. Oh God. It's now Monday. A few more days have passed. I'm still waiting for Ken to get back to me about all these parts that he might have. I'm really hoping that he's going to come up trumps there, so everybody cross your fingers, because if not, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. I'm going to have to find someone breaking one of these, and that inlet manifold changes quite a lot. They go from injection, carbs, different sized carbs, etc., etc. So it's going to be, I need Ken to come back. Ken, if you're watching, thank you for finally emailing me in the future. I don't know how it works. Anyway, I've taken the alternator off. It's here, look, and it looks fine. It just looks like an old alternator, doesn't it? There is 2 wires here and 1 wire here. Now these are for your charging, and that is for your battery light on the dash. Now I don't know if you remember a few moments ago when we tested the ignition, there was no battery lights came up. I just know this is going to be an absolute nightmare. So I've done a little bit of research, and we should have a signal wire, or like a battery light, a warning light wire. What was actually attached to the alternator were these two, which you would assume is all very well and good. They go up into that there, and they go to the battery, and they're big sort of switch panel thing, fuse boxy type stuff. Anyway, that's all good. They're there, but there was nothing else plugged into it. Now I found these. These were just, they were just dangling down there. So I've had my test lights looking for things. They were just dangling down, not doing anything. And one is a green. Looks like it's had a bit of work as well. You see this tape round there. I kind of feel like that's, I don't know, just sort of like not supposed to be on there. Someone's added that. It doesn't look like Jaguar factory standards, that, does it? We are faced here with an electrical problem, so you do have to go through all of this sort of stuff and find out exactly what's going on. Right, so I can see that's where it sort of starts to go into this other bit of tape, which all looks quite nice. So we'll kill that there, and then see, we've got like these little connectors and things here. Just don't like the look of all this. Okay, that's all of that tape off, and we've got a green wire with a brown tracer going along it, and we've got a brown wire with, what colour is that, black or grey? I think it's a brown wire with a black tracer. I think that's what that is, but I can't quite make it out, with one of those blue things. Which again, I'm not sure why would it have that? Is that just someone trying to connect the two wires? I don't know. But it's got the right connector on it for the back of the alternator. Let me just do a quick bit of research. Okay, brown and black is supposed to be alternator battery warning light, right? And I don't like this connector. So I'm just going to cut this connector off, because it's going to have given us all sorts of problems. So we'll say goodbye to that. Still plenty of slack to get to the back of the alternator, so if I put a new lead on that, but what I'll do first, right, if this bar fell now, this bonnet would slice my head off, like that. That noise you can hear, that ding, 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 is the bonnet about to, maybe we should do that next. Let's fix this bonnet properly. If I put the ignition on and touch this to earth, we should get a battery light. Right, so if I ground this now, hopefully we'll have a light coming on. Is that on?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Off. On. Off. Right, what a result. Okay, we might be in the clear there. Now that is ready to roll, and that'll just plug straight into the back of the alternator, and we should, fingers crossed, see that thing charge, but maybe we'll have to get the alternator rebuilt, fixed, something. There's a reason someone was messing about with it, isn't there? Anyway, let's put it all back together and we'll find out. And there we have it, our ignition light. Coming on and going off again. Thank God for that. That could have been a right old faff. But now the battery is charging, which is great news. Only issue is that this little volt gauge is not working, and I don't know why. And I wonder if that's something to do with why all the fuse box and stuff is out, or why they were messing about with that, was to try and get that to work. Because we know it's charging, but the volt gauge reads nothing. Is the volt gauge broken, or are the wires going to it somehow messed up? All sorts of danger going on up there, isn't there? I need to get stuck into it a little bit more. I've just pulled this panel down, but I need to take more things off to get it all out the way. Oh, is that a blown fuse right there? This one here. I've just changed that blown fuse and the volt gauge is still not working. But while I'm sort of doing stuff, I just want to have a little bit of a go through some bits and sort of see if that's working. Make sure all the main stuff's working. I don't know what that is. I'm sure it's central locking or something, but... All right, okay, well that's working now, which is good. Don't know what that does. Okay, interesting. Fog, head, side, off. I can see I have got some form of headlights. I've got to be quick because there's no water in this car, is there? But yeah, we've still not got a volt gauge. Try and play with some stuff back there. No, okay. I will keep looking. Ah, lovely. So that's where all those bulbs hide, and you can tell it has been out because there's only one screw holding it in. But I'm hoping that I can, well, if I take that screw out, oh, it's a flathead as well. And I think this just rotates. Maybe it goes the other way. And then you can sort of get it out, and that will give me access to that voltmeter. We'll visit the parts department and we'll try and put some more screws in that when we put it back on. So yeah, now hopefully I can get a bit more traction on that, but you're in the way. How far do you have to unscrew it, like? When the guy did it on the YouTube video I just watched, it looked so much easier. It's always the way that though, isn't it? Everything that the guy said is not happening. Simply twist it out and it will just pop out. I can feel a rant coming on, all right? You have a lot of YouTubers out there like this guy that you're all going to go, oh, watch this guy, he's living with a classic. Have you watched him? Great, fantastic, very knowledgeable, but classic sort of vibe of doing a job, putting it all back together, cleaning everything, making it look all nice and how it should be from the factory and then doing it. What I've got here is a car that has had a life, right? And everything that I'm trying to do, I'm watching this video and I'm like, just doesn't help me. I understand you twist the gauge and you push it in, it's on a bayonet fit. I understand all of that, but it's locked solid. So something has been reinstalled on this, just not in the right place. There's loads of cables that are like taped together and cut and stuff under here. I need to get this out, to get behind there, to get the bolt gauge out, because as he said, oh, there's just a little twisty thumb screw on the back. There isn't one there. So I don't know what is going on, right? I need to get access to it. And I've just been pushing and pushing so hard on this gauge to try and twist it out that I've now smashed it to pieces. Oh, for fuck's sake. Just such a pain in the arse. Just literally just with my thumbs, trying to push on the edge. And I don't know if you can see, right? What you're trying to do is, you can't really see it, but there's a little screw on the back. Not a screw, it's like a something anyway. And that's supposed to go, and it comes through that little hole there, and that's the idea. And this bit of wire looking thing here, that is like a fitting that you push on this and it pushes it in. And yeah, it's not having it. Something is locked solid inside there. I think it's been screwed back on with something out of place, and now it's wedged between the metal bit of the dashboard, the wooden bit of the dashboard. It's wedged in there, and I can't get it out. I'm doing everything I can. I can't get it out. This car is becoming a bloody nightmare. I've got so much other stuff I need to do on this car. We've not even begun to sort of get into the bones of it, and it's just like jobs like this. I've been at this for an hour. I just need to get, and I wouldn't be so bothered about one little gauge not working, but because it's the volt gauge and this is the kind of car that it is, there's a lot of electrics in here for a 1979 car. Electric everything, electric mirrors, you know, windows and stuff. I would like to know if this thing's charging or not. All the wires, I've had that down the back, which is a little mirror, so I can see all the wires look like they're connected, so I've got the feeling it's the gauge that's at fault. But I need to get behind there to measure with my multimeter to see what's feeding to it and all this sort of stuff. And the first step to that is getting that out, because I can't access it from underneath because the steering wheel, sort of everything is in the way. I don't want to have to take this dashboard out, I really don't. I need to get behind this. It's now broken, so I'm going to get all the glass out of it, and then hopefully I'll be able to get a bit more purchase on it to screw it, and we'll just have to buy another rev counter from our man if he ever gets back to us. Cars, man. I've still got to do the headlining, I don't know where. It's going to be so hard, so there's a board there though, so it could be worse, couldn't it? That was an absolute hatchet job, getting that out of there. Oh, horrible job. That's just taken me like a couple of hours just to get that gauge out of there. Unreal. Oh my god, just so I can get to the back of this volt gauge, which I could have easily probably got to underneath, to be honest. But I started to take it out and I couldn't then move it back to go back from underneath. So I'd made my own bed. I had to go through that way just because I couldn't return that, and I'll show you why. See this little brass monkey here? That is what basically locks it into place with this sort of metal ring, which is a funny shape because it like locks it in versus a spring. And if you see, if I move that out of the way, if you see, for example, on this gauge here, you can see that little brass cherub there, and it just locks into place. You have to line it up properly, otherwise it won't sit well and you won't be able to sort of lock it back in to where it's supposed to be. You need two hands to do it, but you get the idea. It's not, it doesn't have to go far. And this one, I turned it that way, right? I couldn't turn it that way at all, and you can see this bit here, this shiny bit is where the brass tab had just been dragging itself along there, and it had just locked it into place. It's now out. That's the main thing. Now, I don't know whose fault that was. I don't know how it happened. I have the feeling that it had been installed incorrectly, so it was just locked. Someone had like dragged it right round into the position and I couldn't get it out. I don't know, but that was very, very difficult, and it's cost me a rev counter. So hopefully he's got a nice rev counter that he can put in this box for me, and I can get to the back of this volt gauge now, which I'm going to do, and see if I've got power to it and all this sort of stuff, which I probably could have got to from underneath, really, and it would have saved messing about. Anyway, I've just given up smoking. Maybe this has something to do with it. Maybe I'm not in my right mind. Okay. The magnificent Ken has got back to me. This is what we've got here. This is a full manifold with the thermostat housing and stuff already in it, with all the nuts and bolts. He's going to supply all the gaskets, everything I need. Ken Jenkins, independent classic Jaguar specialist, ukjag.co.uk. He has been nothing but helpful, absolutely perfect. Exactly what you need. Everything in one box delivered to the door. Fantastic service. We are gathered here today to drill out more bolts on classic cars. Nice, that's actually going through there pretty quickly. So I'll just keep stepping that up, go do the other side, and I'll just find a nice nut and bolt, and I'll double nut it so it won't go anywhere. Double nut, is that a thing? And then that should be that job done. That's the bit that had snapped off. Just see that it had another side to it, just completely snapped off. And now we've got a nice nut and bolt in there, which should be absolutely sound. It's a nylock nut as well, so it shouldn't fall off. Right, let's see if this bonnet shuts. Get that bolt from there. Because of course, if this bonnet doesn't shut, all that has been a complete waste of time. So far, so good. How's it? Should just. Everything is moving in here. It is all working like it should do. And it's lined up, but I must have done something bad in a past life because it doesn't want to shut. It doesn't want to latch. Why? Oh, was that in the wrong place maybe? It's lined up beautifully on the front. So the problem we've got is that these things are going into there all the way. It's going down as far as it can. What was that? I don't think that was. But it's not latching. It's just not. Everything's going as far as it can down. It should be latching there. That's perfectly lined up. But it is not latching. All the bonnet where it's supposed to be is fine, and again on this side it's not latching, and there is evidence here that at some point this has been, well, it's had some stuff done to it, hasn't it? I mean, that's, you can tell it's had some welding. Anyway, I don't know why it's not working. It should be working. Everything is free in there, doing exactly what it's supposed to do, doesn't go any further. Last Jag we had on the channel was nothing but trouble, and this Daimler / Jag is starting to become nothing but trouble. Just two very easy jobs there that should have, you know, been 2-minute jobs have turned into much, much bigger jobs now. I don't know why this bonnet isn't closing. I hope it is nothing to do with, I don't know. I'm just going to have to spend more time looking and trying to figure it out. Let's get closer, yeah. Just pull your thing there. Oh, has that worked? Oh, it has on that side, but it's certainly not the best. And that side it's just not latching, but I can't get to behind the welded thing. There's a captive nut inside the bonnet, right? Inside the bonnet skin. You adjust it with a little flathead in there, and it turns and it goes in and out, and that's where I've got it to be quite a nice little place there. So if I now hold it steady and twist that nut, that'll hold that perfectly there, right? Which would be fantastic. That's what we need. This side though, because it's had all this welding and stuff done, that itself is not, see, I can push the whole thing up. So when that's coming down there, it's not going to latch, because why would it? It's just going to send itself back in. Whoever's put this all together hasn't put a nut on the back of this to lock it into place, so there's no nut there where there is on the other one. And the problem is now is that I can't undo this to take it off, so it's just spinning, because there's a nut inside there which you cannot get to from any way. I could potentially cut a bit of the bonnet out and then I can get to it, but I mean, that's just not ideal, is it? It's the only way the bonnet's going to latch. I can't get down there, my fingers aren't long enough. There is just no way of getting down there, and I need to make this spin round. I have bravely decided to give up. Thanks very much for watching. See you soon. Bye. No. I've given up for today, because this is just, it's wound me up so much. Over the next few days, I decided to give the car a bit of a scrub up with Joe's help. Tried to make it like a bit of a nicer thing to be in and to work on and to be around and stuff, because it was a little bit smelly, so it was good to try and freshen it up a touch. I used this time wisely to try and have a little bit of a think about how I could fix that bonnet without having to cut a big chunk of the bonnet out. I did ask Ken if he would have a bonnet that he would do me a body cut of, but he said the only bonnets he had were good ones and he didn't want to do a cut of them, which is absolutely understandable. It also gave me the opportunity to strip all the inlet manifold side of things down and get everything off and cleaned up and tidied up, ready for when Ken's box arrived, so I could get everything put back together. It was quite a difficult and time-consuming job, mainly because I didn't want to snap any more bolts than, that had already been snapped on this car. I wanted to try and get everything off as nicely as I could. Can't get this thing off. How much do they want me to hit this? Inlet manifold is just like it's glued on. Oh, God. I've removed the carburetors because I don't want to damage them when I'm swinging lump hammers around on this manifold. I don't want to accidentally strike one of these beautiful items, so I've taken them off, which is a bath on the car. I'm having to rip the gasket off with it, and it's making it super tricky. I can hear it tearing. Oh, we're off. We're off. Oh my God. Oh, look at that. Oh my God, that was so difficult. But you can tell it's been glued on. The whole inlet manifold has been absolutely glued into place for all those years. That was such a nightmare to get off, honestly. It's gonna take ages to clean that as well, isn't it? Look at it. Does anybody want to swap jobs? This is going to be a right faff to get clean. I've got to get this surface spot on. These old cars, eh? You just, you got to keep hammering away. Ken is now my go-to Jag guy. Couple of big boxes, everything that I could ever want. We've even got a nice new rev counter to replace the one that I blew up. He's even sent us some coolant, the correct coolant for the car, and the correct thermostat for the car. He told me something about degrees. He said, is it an 88 in there? And I said, I don't know. And he said, well, I'll send you this one because it's the proper one for the car. Fine, superb. Gaskets, I've had to do a little bit of work on the inlet manifold that he sent over, just changing a couple of sensors and just checking everything over in terms of surfaces and stuff. And underneath here, fingers crossed, oh, beautiful. We have got a very nice surface. I'm going to give these a bit of a clean as well, get everything ready to go back together. And I'm going to take this thermostat housing apart so we can put the new thermostat in there, new gaskets, all that sort of stuff. And we're not using that end bit. We're going to use the one that's on the car, and then we're just going to mate it all together, which will be fine. And it's going to be super straightforward and nothing is going to break. I'm manifesting that. The car is pretty much ready to go. All the surfaces have been cleaned, they look amazing. All the stuff on the roof is just all set out and laid out, ready for me to put back together on the car. And I might replace a couple of the little rubber hoses while I'm going through it as well, because there's a couple of little splits. Right then, now, I've got to get all this done fairly sharpish, because at the end of this video, my plan is to get this car up to Halifax, which is about a 2.5 hour drive from here, because I have a lot of parts to pick up for another little car over there. From Steph from iDriver Classic, ADO Restoration, ADO Parts, they've gathered me everything I need for that little Austin, so we're going to go and collect all that stuff, and I want to do it in this Jag, so I've got to get this thing back on the road, and I haven't got long to do it. How much has this all cost me so far? Well, what do you reckon? All this stuff, all this service, all this work to get all these bits over to me. It's, you know, no mean feat getting these. He sent me some wiring as well for the back of the dash in case I needed it for the rev counter, but it's all the same, but he sent me that just in case. Got it, all the stuff got here very quickly. How much do you reckon? What, 500 quid? 700 quid? Well, you know, rare parts. £272.83. Bargain. Thank you very much, Ken. Independent Classic Jaguar Specialist, www.ukjag.com. I think it's ukjag.com. Anyway, you'll find it. It's ukjag.co.uk. Amazing. Right, first job for me today is to clean some more surfaces. It's imperative that you don't get any air leaks when you're doing stuff like building all these carburetors back up, because it ran and started and stuff so sweetly before that I don't want to put it all back together and it doesn't work properly, you know. Nice. Backside. Don't be a pig. Don't be a pig. The big long bolt that runs through the thermostat housing was proving to be an absolute animal and I couldn't get it out. So I decided to button it back up and use it as it is. Okay, all the surfaces have been prepared to the highest tasty plastic standards. So that needs to go in there. And that needs to go there, and then that should have to make sure that I dial in the correct torque setting for these as well, obviously, which is pretty tight, not too tight. I don't want to snap anything, but pretty tight. We are on the vinegar strokes. All I've got to do is fill this thing up and we're there. I've made a nice job out of this. I've undone the 2 dash pots and filled them full of some dash pot oil, not 20W50, I wouldn't do that, I wouldn't dare. I've replaced a couple of fuel pipes. These fuel pipes had cracks and splits all over them, so I've replaced those with some nice shiny new ones. So I've literally just got to tighten this one last bolt, fill it up with that, and then hopefully it's not going to pour out everywhere and this thing's going to hold temperature. Started well, didn't it? Is there a huge amount of something pouring out from underneath? Yes, there is. What does it look and smell like? That's petrol, isn't it? Where's that come from then? What have I forgotten to do up? See that there? Jubilee clip not quite tight enough. No panic, no panic. Everything looks nice and dry, thank God. So far anyway. It's got to heat up yet. It's not running perfectly on all 6. I haven't done anything with plugs or anything like that yet. What I want to do is see if it holds temperature and see if it can get hot before I even start looking at plugs and things. So I'm now going to put some more coolant in, some more water in, and we're just going to watch that temperature gauge. That was lucky, wasn't it? Bloody hell. Put the heaters on hot, it's running really bad. Get like, bloody hell.
I am filming this in the middle of like storm Cachagoo or something. It's super windy. I don't know if you can tell, but it is super windy. These heaters are warming up. Come on, baby. We're still running off crap fuel as well, remember. We need some fresh fuel. Heaters are warming up. It's not getting anywhere near as hot yet as I'd like, but it's not been running for that long. It doesn't sound like it's running great. Might just be a set of plugs. It's got an AccuSpark electronic ignition in it. It's not got any points or anything, so it won't be that. Could be the AccuSpark though, because I've had them fail a couple of times and I always badmouth them, and maybe it could be that, maybe it's not. Anyway, it's possibly plugs. I'm messing about with the leads just to make sure we've not got like a loose lead or anything, but yeah, it's just not happy. I'm pretty sure it wants some proper fuel in it, because this fuel could be 8 or 9 years old and we only put 1 can in it. One of the things I'm thinking to do is just to run it to the petrol station. I'm really hoping this is just going to be a fueling issue and we just need some fresh juice in it, but I am getting warm heaters. I just don't want it to be a head gasket or anything like that, you know. That when someone was doing that work, they cooked it essentially. We're not going to know anything about this engine until we put fresh fuel in it and give it a blast up the road. So let's go. All 6 pistons aren't contributing to the effort to make this car move. Only about 3 of them. Okay, let's put some motion lotion in it. Supreme 99. Let's see what it'll do. I can tell it's the long wheelbase because it's bloody long. Ah, it's bus. Good job the brakes work. Did we check those? I think we did. Oh, seatbelt. My fuel gauge is working. It's showing nearly a full tank, which is awesome. Oil pressure gauge is working, but I've got no temperature gauge and no voltmeter. So those two, I think, might be combined on some sort of circuit. So that's something I need to have a little look into. That might help us with the volt gauge, which I walked away from that. That was too much for me. After smashing that, I was just like, I'll do that another day. Right, how are we getting on? Speedo works. Brakes work exceptionally well. Come on. Come on, old girl. You can do it. It's being a bit of a pain, this car. First thing I want to do is just see if I can tighten a Jubilee clip up down there, because it is pouring water out onto the floor. Jubilee clip's not even on tight. I've not been anywhere near that one. It's not running on 06. I've just pulled all the plug leads off one by one to see if they make a difference while it's running. These do, but those don't. I've tried moving the distributor and checking it all out, and it looks all clean and nice in there and everything seems to be working. I really wanted to do more to this car as well. Just like all the headlining and all that sort of stuff, but it is just pouring into my time. This is like my 8th day on this car, believe it or not. It is becoming very time consuming, this thing, and I wanted to do some other bits, but it's looking like I'll be lucky if I can get the thing running properly. Anyway, let's see what secrets this plug can tell us. Nothing really. I mean, it's very black. Should still spark though, shouldn't it? I'm going to get Joe to start it, and I'm going to watch to see if I can see any visible sort of compression coming out of there, and I'm going to see if I've got a spark at this plug. Yeah, I'll do. I've got a
perfect spark, and as you could hear by that, it sounded like it had pretty decent compression as well. I've just tried to order a set of plugs, which I'll change, but that should have, that should be working, which leads me on to a timing thing mainly, but we're just going to see if it makes any difference unplugging it or not again, now that I've cleaned it. Makes absolutely zero difference if that is plugged in or not. Did you spot what I just did? Oh, come on, baby! Swapped 1 and 3 over. Boy, does she sound nice now. Amazing. Right. Oh, I want to drive it again. I want to take it up the road once more. I want to see what it's like. That is cool. She sounds nice. Now that this thing's running like a brand new Swiss watch, I need to do a couple of last little jobs. I've got to sort this volt gauge, temperature gauge, rev counter type situation out. It's going to be horrible in there, but I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to get stuck in. And we need to make sure all the lights work, and I want to give it a little basic service before I hit the road. That's kind of all the time I've got left on this Jaguar. Daimler, sorry. Oh my God. There'll be riots in the comments, won't there? Hi, welcome to my life now. I am just tearing into this thing as much as I can. I still can't get either of these to just come to life in any way. I've been messing with the voltage regulator and all that type of thing. Can't get anything to work, not happening. So I've spotted while I'm down here this absolute nightmare down here. This is a problem. There is lots of sad wires right there. They are, I don't know how well you can see that, all melted and burned. I think they're for headlights. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I've took the fuse box out there. I'm going to take the brass bits out from the fuse box, redo those bits of wires, put a nice bit of insulation around them, and put it all back together. I don't think that's my problem with the gauges, but I can't drive it around like that. I don't know what that, I don't know, you know, what that's supposed to be there, but it doesn't look factory fresh. So I've got to get stuck into that. I'm going to be under this dash for the rest of my life, aren't I? But you can see the two that I've done, these two yellow jabronis there, that's just a load of heat shrink that I've sort of covered everything up with, run a bit of wire to it, and just, yeah, so that's all nice and tidy. Nothing's going to set on fire there now, which is, well, thank God for that. But we still need to make this thing and that thing work. Sorry for the camera angle, but it's quite difficult in here. I'm just reading up on how all this stuff works, and you've got a little temp voltage stabilizer, and it goes to all sorts of different instruments like the temperature gauge and the voltmeter, which don't work. So what you should be getting, this is, I've just tapped in a little decent ground here, so I know I've got a nice ground. I should have continuity if the volt gauge is grounded. Hear that beep? That means you've got continuity. So I've got a nice ground to my volt gauge. Now what I should get is 12 volts to the green wire. If we switch that to voltage, so I should have 12 volts there. And I do. I've got what the battery is reading. So that's a bit annoying because it is doing what it's supposed to be doing, but it's got volts in all the right places and stuff. So I just got to keep on looking. I don't really know. I need to do more Googling, try and find out if other stuff needs to be plugged in or whatever. Just keep following wires and looking for things. It's getting late now as well. I've got to get this thing on the road though, I have to. Just because I want to drive it really. No, I need to get up to Halifax. Got to get up to Halifax. Okay, let's crack on. This is our volt gauge, right? Which I've just unplugged. And this is the volt gauge from the Viking. I've just been over there and borrowed this from my Rover P4, right? And check this out. Don't know how well you can see that, but it's not a very good gauge because it sort of jumps like it just did then, but it's not got any glass on it, so the needle has been broken a couple of times, but you can very obviously see that it is working. The volt gauge is working, and if I switch the car off, we should see it fall. There you go, just dropping down, doing its thing. So the wiring is good, volt gauge is knackered. What about the water temperature though? Because that's, I mean, it's doing the same thing. Is that gauge knackered as well? Could the little bit of wiring sort of meltiness that we had going on down there, could that have fried those two gauges? I don't know. Bit of a tricky one, that. Problem I've got is that I don't have the time to order more gauges and fit them. I need to get on the road with this thing. I really do. I'm tempted to leave that volt gauge in here for the moment, just so at least I've got that. I think the one in the Viking is a different water temperature gauge, but I'm going to go and check, and if it isn't, then I'll try the same thing on that. But that is the water temperature gauge, so I can't use this. And I don't think I've got anything else with that temperature gauge on. I know this doesn't have a temperature gauge, and I don't think the old Spitty. Oh, it does. It does have a temperature gauge. I can't remember for the life of me if this one actually works or not, but I guess we're going to find out. Oh no, we're overheating. No, we're not. I've got my earth, which I've just earthed to this bit of metal on the door, attached to the temperature sender wire there, right? With the temperature sender's under here in the inlet manifold, and that's the one that I had with the car originally and that I took off the old manifold and put onto this manifold. And now you can see that it's all high up, look, it's all on max. So if I unplug the earth and plug this back in, that thing there should be giving it enough ohms of resistance and should be changing so that this falls to the right temperature that the engine's at. And yeah, it's sort of just falling. It shouldn't fall any more than that really, but yeah, it's continuing to fall. Okay, so it's dead. This is where we're at then. The wiring for the temperature sensor is fine, and the gauge should be fine as well because it is doing stuff. I think the temperature sender, the little screwy in job in the inlet manifold, is broken. So I need to get a new one of those, and I need to get a new volt gauge. And then hopefully all the gauges should work, because that is important to have those two things. But I guess I'm going to have to put everything back together, and we're going to have to make do without it because I can't get the stuff delivered in time. So we'll just have to fly by the seat of our pants and hope that nothing goes wrong. I'm still putting stuff back together. Oh, and now my torch is dying. Cool. But we've got a rev counter back again in one piece. It's a slightly different style, but who'd notice? It's fine. Everything's all nicely clipped in. Fuel gauge is working. What a faff. But we are nearing the finish line of this car. You know when you just like, you can't stop. You just like, I do need to get home, but I just keep messing with things and keep doing stuff. All of this is all back together now, and it's looking absolutely swell. when the new stuff arrives, I'm going to have a go at fitting it and making it all nice, but it's all good. And these, with a little bit of grease, they've just slotted in perfectly. It's just, yeah, make sure everything's lined up and it just clicks. So then I came over here and I thought, well, let's reconnect all these wires that had all fallen apart. And then I was like, well, I can't find where that one goes. And then when I tried the flash, see how I've got two headlights here, when the main beam comes on, now that I've connected this fella, that comes on, but this one goes all dim. So I checked the fuses on this side, and then I've checked the fuses on this side, and they're all fine. And I've just had a look at the wiring, and it's been chopped here as well. It's just been cut. All the wires have just, yep, let's just cut them off. Very, very strange. I don't know if there's more stuff down here. There's just like one red wire, but yeah, the wires have just been cut off. So I'm going to reconnect these all now. I think that might be an earth issue, or we've got a bulb out. So I'm just going to carry on messing about with it, and I'll see if I can get a full ensemble of lights, because everything at the back works, all the indicators work. It would be really nice to get that proper sort of full ensemble of light. Can I get these lights to work before my girlfriend leaves me? The bulb actually looks quite good, that's a bad sign. Ooh. Can't see anything now. Still nothing here though. I wonder if it's just another bulb blown. It has been a pretty long day. Just sort of not done wipers on this either. Might be able to get them from a petrol station if it does start raining. Yeah. Right, ignition's on. We have side lights, headlights, and do we get the full Daimler quad light experience? Our survey says. Come on! Love that. Little bit of wiring, tidying up goes a long way. Right, it's time for me to get out of here. And tomorrow, a few last little jobs, get this thing over the line, you know, just make it so it is ready for our road trip. And then we're off to Halifax. Gluten Morgan. It is the last day I can realistically spend working on this car before I have to work on all these other cars. So, what have I been up to this morning? Well, this thing right here, I drilled all the old bolts out, got rid of all of those, cleaned the area up, give it a lick of paint, covered it in some dodo mat, and then I installed this newfangled battery clamp. As you can see, it doesn't fit properly, but it's not going anywhere. It's absolutely solid. But yeah, this bit here could do with being up, but the shaft thing isn't long enough. It always the way. Just make it a little bit longer and we can always get it down. Don't make it shorter. It's fine. Relax. Everything's fine. And that is a nice job done. No more water ingress, and it's not going to rust or anything like that, which is what we need. Prolonging the life of old classic cars. I have spent some more money. These wiper blades, which I'm changing now, were £9.26. Beautiful. And then I went on the laptop last night when I got home, and I spent £117.80 on a new gauge, a new volt regulator, and a new temperature sensor. So when they arrive, we'll get them fitted. That might be in episode 2. I might have to do an episode 2 on this car. I wasn't initially planning to, but I might have to do that just
because I want to see if my diagnostics are any good. I want to see if I managed to figure that out, and if we put all that together and it all works, then I'm a mechanic at last. I've also spent £48.16 and another £12, ding, on oil and filter and oil stabiliser, and we're now going to get this on the big ramp. We're going to have another look underneath, make sure nothing's dripping down, change the oil and filter, put the oil stabiliser in it, and then the only thing I want to do left on this car is to sort this paintwork out. I know it needs a little bit of paint on the boot. I know the front wing has got a little bit of a rust hole in it, so it could do with that sorting. It could, yeah, generally do this rear arch. It's got a few bubbles on it. It could do with a few little bits. The headliner could do with doing, but I've run out of time to do a lot of these things. So I want to get the car to a point where it's absolutely usable and clean and shiny and nice. And, you know, when someone sees it driving past, they go, bloody hell, that must be some kind of aristocrat driving that car. And maybe all those little finishing jobs, the little tidying jobs, could be for the next owner. And that next owner could be you, right? And it might only cost you £1 for this whole car that I will make sure is, mechanically at least, superb. But let's get this oil and filter done first, and then I'll tell you all about how you can enter, or if you've entered some of the other Tasty Classics car raffles, just go onto the link in the description. But I'll explain it in more detail once we've started to put the machine polisher on this car. There might be some of you watching going, what about the bonnet? Did you manage to fix that? I tried to do everything I could to sort of get this thing to not go back in, and I managed to do that by putting a little split pin through it there. Can you see? Drilled a hole through it and put the split pin, so now that doesn't go down like it did before because the split pin's stopping it. However, it still doesn't latch. When I spoke to Ken and asked him for the cut, and he said, what do you need that for? He told me that the way to shut these boots is to put, bonnet, is to put one hand on the front grille, other hand on the bonnet itself, in the middle if you like, but I'm going to try and put some pressure on that, and slam it shut. He says that is the way that they latch. That side latches absolutely fine, but I cannot, for the life of me, get this to latch, and it's just going to take me too long to cut it out, re-weld it, do all this sort of stuff. If you are the lucky next owner, you are going to need a little body cut of that, get it fitted, or just come out with your tools and spend a whole day just moving things around, a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there. Is that going to work? Opening and closing the bonnet. I want to do something else. I want to do other things to this car, so that is a job for the next owner. Thankfully, it doesn't flip up when you're driving along because it closes that way, and that one is latched, so nobody can nick your engine. Welcome to the first ever Tasty Classics 4-poster drum and bass ramp interlude. This thing is, it's a dream come true for me. It's just, I'm like a kid in a sweet shop. This is everything I've always wanted. I don't have to like break my back. Look how, you can't even see my head. I don't have to bend down when I'm doing stuff. I used to have to do this all the time to do anything, and now I can just wander under it. And I have this amazing thing here, which gets caught on other things. How do I solve that? Okay, I'll leave that there. So jacks a car, doesn't matter. I need to change this fuel filter. I need to drain this oil. Where is the oil drain plug? Does anybody know? I've got to change this filter up there. Should be nice and easy now. I can get my hand up to it. And that's gearbox there. This is the sump. Oh, very nice. And that there, I think,
is your engine drain hole. So we'll drain that as well. That should be super good. But yeah, the car's looking great underneath, isn't it? Could do with a bit of a wax oil in places, but I don't know. It's proper clean. I like it. Nice and solid. Yeah, okay. And I tell you what else. To come in around the £4,000 mark, we've done well. We have done well. If this thing makes it and doesn't explode and everything drives nicely and there's not any other hidden nasties, we've done all right here. Say hello as well to the Drain You Bastard 9000. This is another new piece of equipment I've got myself because I used to have to empty that little plastic pan every time I did an oil change, but now I've got this. Don't know how it works, don't know what it does, but I'm going to use it. You built this, didn't you, Joe?
I did, yeah.
Are you concerned that it's going to leak?
Potentially.
Well, I guess we're going to find out, huh? You can't see Joe, but he's standing behind the camera there, just desperately watching this thing to make sure he doesn't, it doesn't leak everywhere. Everything else looks mint under here. I'm well pleased with it all. Hope it drives as nice as it looks. Ugh, sticky. I used this stuff on the P4 recently, the Viking, and I thought it was really good. It's not just smoke and mirrors. I always thought it was, but maybe it's not. I'm gonna fill this thing full of this, followed by some lovely 2050, and then I'm gonna check the other levels, and then I guess we'd better cue the music. This car is being raffled off. You can enter the raffle to win this car for only £1. There's a link in the video description, or you can just go onto the Tasty Classics website, which you can see here. You put your pound into the machine and you could come to the workshop, have a look around, see all the cars, pick up a free merch bundle and drive away in your beautiful Daimler. It's super easy to do, it only costs £1 and it's a fantastic way of supporting the channel because it allows me to move all these cars on that I do to fans and to people that really want to see these things come to life and have watched the process and have seen the history and know where these cars have come from. It's just a great way, and I love seeing these things drive down the road with a new owner, and that new owner could be you. And the savvy amongst you may have noticed that there are some names on the side of this Daimler. These are the newest members of my Patreon. The link to this is also in the video description, or it's on my website. It's a great little space where you can watch some behind the scenes videos of me going to get these cars, or just see some general channel updates. If you want to join up like one of these cool folk, then the link is in the description. Give it a click, go on there. It's a great way to see loads of behind the scenes stuff and just have a little bit of chit chat. But if you don't want to be a Patreon, or you don't want to enter the raffle but you still want to support the channel, I sell loads of superb merchandise which you can find on my website. There's some awesome stuff on there, like you can see me hanging up in this freshly tidied up Daimler. Plus loads of other bits and bobs, some really fun stuff on there. But also, please remember, if you can't afford to support this channel, everything I do here is completely free. It's free for you to watch and enjoy. But if you could do me a little favour, just hit that subscribe button. I would be eternally grateful if you could do that. That would mean so much to me. It really spurs me on to keep me going with these old cars when I see the subscriber numbers rising. And I'm creeping very quickly up to the 150,000 subscriber mark, which is a huge milestone for me, and I couldn't be happier. So I'm very, very grateful to all of you that watch these videos and all of you that have hit that subscribe button. And now, back to the movie, and doesn't this thing look awesome? Huh. It's quite nice, isn't it? What a glorious automobile. Good morning, sports fans. Place bets now. Am I going to make it to Halifax? I've got my tools in the boot of the car, and I've got everything else I might need on this trip. So let's jump in, fire her up, and hit the road. I'm wearing my big winter coat because it's winter and it's cold, and if you do win this car for only £1, first job you've got to do is sort the headline out. You could just bung a load of staples into it, but it's not hard. Go and watch the MGZT video and you can see how easily I did that. And all it is crosshead Phillips screws, three there, take these trim bits off, take it all off, scrub it with a wire brush, glue it all back up. It's steady. Just go and watch the MGZT. It's done very nicely. That works well. Nice little project for you to get your teeth into. I need to concentrate on making sure that everything else in this car is going to be good enough for one of you guys to drive away in, and that does involve me doing a essentially 5-hour round trip to Halifax and back in it now, making sure it's good. I've got no temperature gauge, but I have got my heaters on, so as the car warms up and I get warm, nice hot heaters, I can monitor those and make sure that they don't, like, nothing happens, don't go cold or anything like that, which would lead to problems. So that's my heat gauge, is these heaters, my temperature gauge. We've done half a mile or so away from the workshop, and this thing is amazing. I feel like royalty. Everybody's looking at me like, whew, that is a nice car. And it seems, touch wood, to be driving like really smoothly and really nicely. I'm just so nervous. I don't know what to think of it. Like, is it going to be okay? Are we going to make it? It sounds great. Pulls lovely. Now, the raffle for this thing ends in March the 25th, I think we're setting it to. So my plan is to sort of enjoy this car for the next 6 weeks or so. I'm going to use this thing as a bit of a, you know, to get to work and back in. And while I'm doing that, I might record an episode too where I get those gauges fitted, try and fix those issues, anything else that sort of crops up, and just spend another couple of days on it, just doing those little things to make it easy for you to drive home and trouble-free for you to drive home, and anything else that crops up maybe on this road trip. When I first helped push this car out of the Matthewson's auction centre, I'm not gonna lie, I was worried. I know what Jags are like, and you know, this old Daimler was probably going to be a massive headache, and it has not
been easy by any stretch of the imagination. It has just been very, very time consuming, and there's been a lot of stuff I've needed to do. But what I've ended up with here, after all that stuff, is a car that owes me less than £4,000, and everybody that I'm passing is breaking their neck to look at it. And so far, it's driving in a way that is making me fall in love with it. It is so nice in here. This is not like any other car, you know. These are very special. There's a Toyota Yaris in front of me. There's a Honda Civic there. Volkswagen Transporter behind me. They're not like this car. This is something completely different. To see on the road, to be in on the road, I feel amazing driving it. It's light as a feather on the steering. The brakes are just light as a feather. Very, very good. Gearbox is perfect. Just going through Chester then, it's just shown me that this could be such a wonderful little daily cruiser, you know. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Pretty much everything works as well. It's only a long wave radio. I need to pull the aerial up actually. The aerial's not pulled up in the back, so we could do that if we stop. Now it needs to be said, right, if you're going to win this car, it's not perfect, it's not mince. There is a couple of things you're going to need to do. Headlining is probably your first job, but then there's a bit of bodywork that wants doing. There is, like, on that wing, and maybe the boot wants paint. If you're really fussy and you just want to make this the best possible example it can be, then there is a couple of jobs like that you could do. There's a little bit of rust on the corner of this door, that rear arch, you know. There's a few areas which, if you wanted to chuck a bit of money at it and make it absolutely mint, then you really could, and it wouldn't need loads else really, because mechanically it seems to be pretty, so far, touch wood, I think I've sorted it. Got nice warm heaters, everything seems to be okay, but I've only done a couple of miles, so let's just see where we go, you know. Oil pressure's good. But yeah, there's a few things for the next owner to get their teeth stuck into. The little bonnet catch on this side, maybe. A few little jobs. I'd like to get those gauges done though, but that's only for my sort of benefit, because I just want to see how good my diagnostics is. And I also want to take this thing and put it on the Tower of Power. So I think if I get a day spare in the next couple of weeks, I'll put those dials in and we'll take it up and we'll see what it does 0 to 60 wise. I'd like to do that. I think that could be quite fun. I wonder if these back ones work. Amazing. What about your side? And passenger? Got a full ensemble of working electric windows. What is that? Is that central locking? And the little stick for the mirror works as well, by the way. I don't know I don't know how you do your side, but this one works beautifully. If you know what this button in the middle of the dashboard does here, let me know, because I would like to know. There's also a knob here, I don't know what it does. So if you could let me know, I would like to know. Maybe as I'm twisting this now, something's happening on the back of the car. What does this do? I think that's a lock for the windows. It's also tax and roadworthy exempt, this thing, which is handy. MOT exempt, sorry. Need to stop saying that. So it's running costs. You could probably get it on classic insurance for about 150 quid a year or something. Running costs, very low. We're about to pull onto the motorway here, so let's see what this thing can do. Kick down working there. I'm not going to tell you how fast we just got to, but we achieved 70 very quickly then. Very quickly. Smooth as butter. Oh wow, what a dream. And it's still quiet as a mouse in here. I bet you can hear me really well. You can hear a pin drop and I'm doing 70 mile an hour. It's louder than this in every other car of mine. Oh, could get used to this, really could. There was a man before just stood on the side of the road walking his dog, and as I was coming towards him, he was looking, and he literally like stopped and just turned and watched the whole car go, like it was a B-52 flying overhead or something. He just, yeah, he was in awe of this machine. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? For some unknown reason, the speedo has just decided to die. It's just stopped and it's now making a little whirring noise. It sounds like the little spinny round thing at the back of the speedo has just fallen out, possibly because I was lifting it out the other day and it wasn't connected properly. But I'll be going behind those clocks again, won't I, to sort those other gauges out. I hope that's the only thing that goes wrong today. It's a shame I've given up smoking as well, because there is such a vast abundance of ashtrays in this car. Why do you need so many ashtrays? I'm just driving this with one foot, one hand, the smoothest, nicest, most quiet, wonderful place to be. There's a lorry in front of me here. Look how effortlessly I overtake it now. Look how quickly this thing just picks up its heels and gets past it. Power-wise, it just, yeah, can deal with that, no problem. That bonnet, though, is really annoying. I mean, it's not going to flip up or anything, because it goes the wrong way, doesn't it? But it is, yeah, quite annoying just out the corner of your eye. So far, we've done about 20 miles, and apart from the speedo giving up, I cannot fault this car. It is gorgeous. Potentially this has been a very decent auction buy. Potentially. I know it's been a faff. If you had to pay for labour for everything I've done on this car, it would, well, it would probably break the bank, but I'm well pleased with it. Very pleased with it. Seems to be, you know, just a few little things just to take it over the line, and it's now just such a refined, comfortable automobile to be spinning around in, and it looks so good. I had a bit of fun when we did the reveal before, switching all the lights on and stuff. I loved seeing it. Great to watch, especially in the nice shiny new workshop. It looks well, doesn't it? It does look well. Now we're only about 5 miles away from South Manchester, a place called Altrincham. And believe it or not, I own a record shop in Altrincham. Little vinyl record shop, because that is my other love in life. I do love music. And so far we've got this static noise from the long wave radio that is installed on this, but there is a slot for some tapes. I sell tapes at my record shop, so I think it'd be fun now if we go and see Jess, see if she's got a couple of tapes I can permanently borrow from my own shop, and then I'll have some tunes to listen to on the way. And I'd like to see if I can find something fitting with the era of the car, you know, the 70s. Just wanted to feel the brakes, because I did get a sensation that one of them may be binding, but they're all ice cold, so maybe it's just, you're not going to be able to feel these because they're inboard, but maybe it's just a little bit of a warp disc or something on the front, because it's just, I can feel a little tiny bit of a rumble under braking, but whatever, it's not too bad. Anyway, we're here at the first stop. I can't be too long because I'm parked on these double yellows, but I'm sort of
first name terms with a traffic warden round here nowadays. Been doing this a long time. This shop I've had for almost 12 years. Very, very long time. Anyway, let's go and see Jess. How you doing, Jess?
Hi, Ben.
This is my record shop. Lots of lovely stuff and tons of these things. So I'm going to pick a couple of these now, and then we've got some tunes for the car on the way because it's so quiet in there due to its refinements. How are you, Jessie? Okay?
Yeah, got some new releases in this week, so...
Oh, nice. So
Yeah.
busy doing that.
Yep.
Lots of stuff in the back, all on our website. If you're a vinyl head like me, if you like your music, you can go onto that website and you can pick up some amazing stuff on there. Tasty records, like Tasty Classics, but with records. Anyway, right, let's pick some tapes. Cat Stevens' greatest hits. I mean, we've got to have that, haven't we? Best of Cream next to it. Oh, we'll borrow that as well. I actually have my own little parking spot here, so I did stick it in here once I'd got those pictures of it outside the shop, because I do like to have some pictures of the cars outside the shop, you know. Let's hit the road again and head. Bye, Jess. Right, let's head to our destination to pick up all of these gorgeous car parts and to catch up with an old friend. I also picked up something a little bit more contemporary for the tape player. This is Pulp's latest album on cassette. Can you believe they're bringing out records on cassettes again? Mental. God, I hope this tape player works. I really do. Oh. The tape player doesn't want to work. Oh no! The silence is going to be unbearable. Oh, I thought I was going to go then. Might try and pull the aerial up and see if we can get some long wave radio. How annoying. I think it's safe to say that the tape deck does not work. Oh, I'm really looking forward to listening to my tapes. I've just pulled up at the services to grab a quick coffee, and I mean, she's absolutely gorgeous. I just wanted to just give it another quick look over after that stretch on the motorway. That's where that parking space ends, by the way, and the car sort of comes out to here. I know I'm not all the way in, but I'm pretty much there. I'm not a million miles away. She is a big old bus. Gorgeous big old bus. She's just come up so clean, hasn't she? All that scrubbing and mopping. She's got a bit of paintwork on the boot. You know, you can't, there you go, when you get up close you can see it's had the boot painted at some point in the past, but you can only really notice from close up. She is a gorgeous old thing. Well impressed so far. So comfortable and nice to drive. Just look at how well this paintwork's come up. So nice. Everywhere on it. Shame about this bloody bonnet though, innit? Anyway, and those wheels and the wheel caps, they're just immaculate. Very nice. Right, it's bloody cold. Let's get a coffee, and we're about 45 minutes away from ADO restoration. So many grey and white boring cars just piled into the car park, and then, oh my days, look at this beautiful thing. I've picked up my Gregory's. If you don't have a Greg's in your country, then I'm sorry about that. I'm truly sorry for you. I've got a Star biscuit and some mozzarella bites. I'm going to imbibe those and then we're going to hit the road again. It's as simple as that. Everything seems to be okay with the car. I've just had a look underneath and it's dry. There is no massive pools of oil or anything, which is a bit of a turn up for the books, isn't it? One of the things with this car is that there is no cup holders, but because you only need your big toe and your little finger to drive it, that isn't a problem. And you can just carry on holding your coffee. And you can even get to this thing on that side there because there's only 2 spokes in the wheel. Super easy. Just about to get onto the M62 again now, half an hour to go. Just watch how effortlessly this thing joins the motorway now. Don't even need to indicate because I'm in a Daimler. It's fine. Just the dream. And very interestingly, the Speedo has come back to life. So it comes back to life for a bit and then it died again early on, but it was on pretty much all the way from Altrincham to the services. The Speedo was working, so it must be a very loose little connection at the back that I think I've just knocked, so I should be able to sort that quite easily. Adjust my mirror a touch there while I'm holding my coffee. There we go, because you can hold the wheel with your knees as well. It's just super easy, straightforward. Bit of power. Oh, smooth as silk, man. Why would anybody need any other cars? Probably to do better miles per gallon, because I don't know what this is doing, but it's not going to be great, is it? I'd imagine 24, is it? If I had to put my money on a guess, 24 sounds like a good enough number, doesn't it? But it's just fine. It's luxurious in every other way. Speaking of fuel though, when I was buffing the car and I was polishing it, it was up on the ramp. In that corner there was a hole in the wheel arch where the fuel pump and sender and all that sort of stuff screws in, and it's not there, it's all been taped up. So it leads me to believe that this has had the sort of modification that a lot of these Jaguars or Daimlers have had, is where if there's issues with the fuel system, they tend to knock it over to running just one tank. So just this right hand side tank instead of using both tanks. So both tanks aren't working, it is just this right hand tank, because if you did try and fill that other tank up, it'd just pour all over the floor, which is not ideal. But I'll let whoever is the winner of this car know that not to fill that tank up, just fill this tank up. Maybe I'll put a little red X on top of the fuel tank or something on the fuel filler cap. I don't know. One tank seems to be more than enough though for what I would imagine anybody would be doing in this Daimler.
Where did the time go? How do we move so far away? Holding on, how much can we both take when life is in echo? I can't hear what you're saying when life is in echo. I can't
Have I driven here? Or have I floated here on a cloud? What a machine. I mean, I don't really know what to say. It drove here beautifully. The speedo has worked all the way from the services to here. And we have now arrived. And this is a glorious automobile. I am falling for it massively. If genuinely now, I'd say this quite often, but genuinely, if I didn't need the money to keep my workshop going and have all these cars coming through and bring you fresh content and fresh cars all the time, I would be keeping this. I would 100% be keeping this car. It is so cool. What I would love to do is to just put it on airbags and put some banded steelies on it. That would be the dream. Make it look like this AI recreation. But as it sits here, as it is, it's absolutely superb, and it's just done a perfect job of bringing me here. This is one of the old friends that I've come to see, but if you want to see the video of what's going on with this thing, then subscribe to the Tasty Classics Breakdown channel, because I will be going through it on there, and that'll be out in a couple of weeks. But for now, let's get these parts, get back on the road. Right then, that was a fun little visit. Oh, good job this thing has got a big boot. Huge box, a very heavy Austin. Is it going to close? What about now? Perfect. Thanks, Steph.
That's all right. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Loss of traction due to power. God, this thing's an absolute dream. So Steph has just expressed interest in coming down to the workshop to film this. So if she gets a chance before this raffle ends for this car, then she's going to come down and film it for her channel, which would be quite fun to watch. And she wants to do the A40 when that's all back on the road properly with all those nice, lovely parts. They're so great up there. Those parts that I got for the A40, it makes such a difference to me, because they've got all the contacts. They know everybody and can just make a few phone calls and the parts get delivered. I can't do that. The owners club offered me a lot of help, but they did say I'd have to become a member to get parts, which is quite often the case, and fair's fair, it's all right, but I just can't become a member of every car that I do, because I do a different car every blooming week. I am in a couple of owners clubs. I'm in the P4 and the Panhard, but that's kind of all I can manage. Can't do any more than that, I'm afraid. So yeah, but they're amazing. ADO just been able to get everything that I need, hopefully, for that car, so I can start stripping it and rebuilding it soon, which would be great. So we've got just over 2 hours now to get back to the workshop, and fingers crossed this thing is gonna get us there and it's gonna be fine. It's been good so far, you know. I would love to keep this car, I would love to keep them all, but this thing, well, I'm hoping somebody else is going to enjoy it as much as I've enjoyed putting it back together. And I know it has been a challenge, and it's annoyed me a couple of times, but it has generally been quite enjoyable. It's not been like too horrible. I think it's a good experience, and I think coming in at the price that it has, just under £4 grand, and it's got me to Halifax and hopefully back, can't argue with that, can we? Really. Anyway, let's get our heads down, get into the drive, and hopefully we'll make it back before it gets dark. Here you go, little Austin. You have all sorts of new parts.
Thank you, Daimler, for being such a wonderful companion on that little trip to Halifax and back. She smashed it. It just knocked it out the park like it was 1978 all over again, you know? It just wasn't fazed by any of that. It was gorgeous to drive. Really nice. I'm so pleased with that. Auction was a gamble. Auctions always are a gamble. You know, you never know quite what you're going to end up with. And I was worried when I got this because 3,300 odd quid was a lot to spend at auction when I know nothing about the car. And maybe I did, you know, get a little bit of auction fever. However, now that I have spent that money and an extra sort of 600 or 700 quid on the parts that I needed to get it back on the road, I'm so glad I took that risk. I'm so glad I took that risk. It's an awesome car. I've loved getting my hands on it. Just all of it really, the lines, the chrome work, the paint work, it's just the wheels, the engine. It's all been a joy, it really has. Apart from getting that rev counter out, that was a right pain in the ass. But apart from that, everything's just been time consuming, but great. And she's ready for a new home. So if that's you, then go and stick your pound in the machine. And yeah, I will see you in the next one, which I think is going to be a Clat 2, which is quite exciting, isn't it? So bear with me for another week or so, and I'll see you then for that. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.